Hey guys, it's another video. I'm back. Hopefully you're back. Hello if you're new. So in today's video, I want to talk about the Channel 4 two-part docuseries, The Write-Offs. This programme follows Sandy Toksvig as she looks at Britain's low adult literacy rates and follows a group of 8 adults who are illiterate and their 18-week journey into overcoming that and also trying to knock down the stigma around illiteracy. Illiteracy. So as I've said, it's a two-part docuseries, so both episodes are around like 45 minutes long. As it goes on, we find out the reasons for them being illiterate, and the most cases are because of really severe dyslexia, but there's also one whose is because they had a massive brain trauma, and another was part of a learning difficulty, but also because I believe, if I followed it correctly, that English wasn't their first language. So it basically, it's coming from a place of these people aren't just stupid, because I think it's trying to break down the stigma that clearly people who can't read are just stupid, but there's like more deeper lying everything. So at the start, the group have to do a couple of tests for Sandy and her adult education specialist person. I can't quite remember her title, but it's something along those lines. So they do these tests so that they can see where they are in their actual reading and writing ability, but they look at it in terms of like school years and their ages. They're then given individual tutors that they're going to work with on the regular throughout the 18 weeks. Then at varying points throughout the journey, I want to say every 4 weeks, so it's like once a month, but I could be wrong. They're given tasks to do to see how far they've come with their reading, writing, and all of that. So these tasks do include writing a shopping list and going to the supermarket, following a recipe, performing it. It's a pantomime type show at the Globe Theatre, and also they have to travel, they have to get to a destination, but they can only get to that destination through following directions that have been written down, and all of that. It's a lot more complicated than I'm explaining, but it's along those lines. There's not a lot that I want to say detail-wise about this, because I do want people to take the time to watch it, but it's honestly so amazing to see how the individuals do progress through, and like you find yourself getting so invested in some of them, and like legitimately I was sat at some point crying because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like their journeys are so cool, and like they show massive steps and massive moments for some of these individuals, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like you really feel for it, and you cry. I did cry a couple of times, but I just got so invested. I didn't think I would, and then I did. It's a whole thing. For me, watching this, I found that I was relating to a couple of a few other people as well. Obviously I can read and write, like I'm not illiterate, but I could relate to the fact that a lot of them struggled at school, because I also struggled at school with my own dyslexia and processing issues. So I was finding myself relating in a way. Obviously I didn't struggle to the same extent that they did, because I was able to like do my exams and be in the lessons and all of that jazz. But I could relate to the like feelings of feeling not quite fitting in, not feeling as good as the others around me. So I could understand where they were coming from in a way, from that point of view. As I was watching it, while I was watching it, I couldn't fathom, I actually couldn't fathom not being able to read or write at all. Like, that must be so difficult to live with. I've never even thought or considered how much just literally existing in the world does rely on being able to read and write. Like, the task that requires them to go to the supermarket, I've never even like sat down and thought or considered what it must be like to not even be able to read the labels on the stuff you're trying to buy. Like, if I remember correctly, a lot of them have said that they've never gone food shopping on their own before, and I just couldn't even, I can't compute that. But like, because that's insane. Like, you should be, it's weird. Like, I've never had to, I think it's because I've never not been able to read. Well, I obviously have, but from what I can remember, I've never not been able to read everything around me well enough to get by. So it's mental to me that there are people out there that can't even do a food shop because they don't know what they're buying because they can't read the labels. But like, fair play to this group of people who are going, do you know what, I'm gonna learn to read and write. Who cares that I'm now in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s? Like, yeah, you go king, you go queen. You learn to read and write. I mean, it's mental. It's mad to me that there are so many people. I didn't realise there were so many people in Britain that couldn't read or write. Like, why isn't there, like, I just don't understand, why isn't there more help available to these people? Because I think it does stem from the fact that like school might not have been catered towards them. But why is there not help outside of school that's like, okay, no, you need these tools in life. We get that school wasn't for you, so here's the help. Like, why isn't there more of that? Like, just because the way that school is taught isn't necessarily for everyone, doesn't mean that everyone doesn't deserve to learn. I just don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. And I feel that quite strongly as someone whose school definitely wasn't catered for, but I was able to get by. But there are people out there that can't just get by. Like, why isn't there the help and support? It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. I am such a fan of documentaries. I don't know if I've said it before, but they do just hit different for me. I do enjoy learning things and being able to see like personal stories and all of that from experiences, and like animals, seeing how animals do their thing. And so it was really enjoyable for me to be able to watch this and see how other people live and experience the world. But also it did break my mind a little bit, because fair play to these people living in the world not being able to read and write, because everything relies on it. I'm genuinely, I struggle to fathom it. I personally feel like I can't rate this award past Eyes Wide Open, because that is exactly what it does. Like, these documentaries do just open your eyes to a whole world you'd never even thought of or considered, and it's a life experience that you might not even have had an inkling or a thought that there are people out there that have to exist like that and struggle with these things. And it's the fact that there is so many people out there that makes this documentary even more, like, makes this documentary even more relevant. And I've got to be really honest, it's really well made. Like, the typing they have on it, little, so it will like pop up here or here, I can't remember which, like the location or what week it is, and they'll do it initially like phonetically spelling it, and then they'll delete it and then spell it correctly, because that is arguably how a lot of people would try and spell it. I just think it's a really well made documentary. It's really easy to watch, and it's a really not spoken about topic. So I think everyone should watch this documentary, and I hope that after this video you do watch it. It's on all 4 because it's channel 4. It's literally, you won't even have to spend 2 hours. It's 2 episodes, 45 minutes. Do with that what you want, but I would say go and watch it, because you will leave feeling a lot of emotions, but mostly it's good. It's good. You'll get attached, trust me. I'm attached to some of them. that's it for this week. It's not a lot, but I don't want to ruin the details for people, so I'm not going to speak about it lots. Let me know what you think if you watch it. If you have watched it, did it blow your mind as much as it blew mine? I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Why are the fire alarms going off? I've filmed for a whole minute and I've not even talked. Or the world's longest train is going to go past. That's fine too. Who are a little... I'm not wording this well.